Good afternoon, Summoners, and welcome back to the Garena All-Star Championship 2016 Group Stages Day 2. We are about to watch Game 1 between Thailand and the Philippines. This was the last match of yesterday's group stages, and boy was it an amazing game. The Philippines almost won by a hair's breadth, by 200 health on the nexus of Team Thailand, but they were just able to ace Team Philippines and go for that win. It was a heartbreaking loss for the Philippine team, and it was an uplifting comeback for the Thailand team, but they will have their rematch today, and we're all going to see how that turns out.
Yeah, it seems pretty interesting because yesterday's last game is now today's first game.
Yeah.
It was a really close match. That kick into the Chaos Storm just turned the game around and gave Thailand the opportunity to take the game straight from the Philippine team.
Exactly. Even though they were, Thailand was ahead in the early game and the mid game, the Philippines just rallied in the mid to late game, but then they were defeated by that amazing comeback.
Yeah.
But anyway. Alright, but anyway, they will be the first game today, a revenge match between Team Thailand from the Thailand Pro League and the Philippine Pro Gaming Series. We're about to jump into the matches in a second, but first, let me introduce ourselves. My name is G10 coming at you, and this is my partner and shoutcaster for today, Iconic. He will be the analyst and I will be the play-by-plays, and we'll be guiding you through the games today.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Alright.
today we actually have very interesting matches lined up for everyone. 6 games of pure League of Legends action.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we'll dive straight into the pick and ban phase.
In a bit, actually. But first, let's talk about the All-Star Championship itself.
Yeah.
The All-Star Championship, for those of you that don't know, is a championship between the 6 Garena regions, the 6 C regions, that they don't actually have a single team. The players of each region don't actually have a single team. They were the fan favorites from each team of each league of the 6 regions that were voted in by the fans so that they would compete in this championship versus the best of the rest of the regions. So it's kind of like the best of the best versus the best of the best.
By the fans.
Yes, by the fans in their eyes. But of course, we trust our fans. We know that you guys have the best eyes for talent because, of course, you're watching League of Legends. You're watching us, and then of course, the votes that came in, there's a lot of spikes and stuff that happened to actually have these players in here. Some of them were actually replaced because of passport issues.
Oh.
I think it was our own Philippine team's Marky, who was actually the #1 AD carry.
Oh, yeah.
But he had a passport issue and he was replaced by Hate.
Wow, that's pretty unfortunate for Marky.
It was pretty unfortunate. But other than that, the champions of this championship it's actually a very big opportunity because they'll be going to Barcelona in the early December.
Yeah, December 1 to 4 actually.
Yeah,
they'll be competing in the International Wildcard All-Star Championship.
There you go. That's that includes a lot of other regions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then the champion of that tournament will be going on to the actual All-Star Invitational by Riot.
Yeah, a chance to play with the big league, big league
boys,
teams. Yeah, teams from the LCS, LCK, LPL.
Yeah.
So
you get to play. They get to play against Faker, Bjergsen, all those big names. You got Peanut, you got Clear Love, everybody that those regions fans voted in for their region's team will be there.
Yeah. So it will be between Team Fire and Ice as well. A chance to become part of either Team Fire or Team Ice.
Yes, those are very prestigious teams indeed. I think it was the last team that won was actually Team Fire.
Yes, Team Fire actually
That's
won.
why we have the Infernal Diana skin, right? Yeah, so the wild card tournament after this will lead to the actual All-Star Invitational, and that is an exciting opportunity for all of our players in this tournament. I mean, so what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a really good opportunity for these players because even though they don't come from the same teams, they still have a chance to compete internationally, and it's a whole new environment because what we're used to in our own respective leagues is that we know these players, they know who they play with, but now it's a whole new ball game because they have to work with a new environment, new teammates, probably even new coaches as well. So you'll see the best of the best and see how well they mesh together. So it's not only a question of how well they are as on the rift, but also how they communicate with their new teammates and how they mesh together.
That's a very good point because what we saw yesterday in yesterday's games, there was I think it was team which was it? It was, I think it was Team Indonesia, or was it Team Singapore? Yeah, it was Team Singapore who were actually very mechanically good. Each of their players was mechanically better than a lot of the other teams, but it was just their synergy that
Yes.
that was their downfall because they weren't able to to pull it together to actually cohesively become a unit, a team, and that led to their downfall. I think in game was it game 2? I think versus Thailand.
Yeah, I think. So let's dive straight into
Yeah.
the pick and ban phase. So for the blue team, we have Thailand, and for the red team, we have the Philippines.
Yes, there is a Zac and Karma ban here on the side of Team Thailand, and an Olaf and Syndra ban on the side of Team Philippines here, and that's a Rise ban for Team Thailand. These are very, I think, mid lane heavy bans right here.
They are
actually.
trying to actually prevent the Karma because Karma can be flexed 3 ways.
Yeah,
And they're also banning out the Zac in respect to Tamsu because we know what Tamsu can do
that's
with
true.
with the Zac. So the Rise can also go top mid. So they're just trying to get rid of these early nuisances in the pick and draft phase to have a more consistent pick and draft phase where they can actually visualize where the enemy lanes are gonna go.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point because yesterday there was a lot of mind games going on. I believe in the exact same matchup, Philippines versus Thailand, Thailand picked Rise, and Team Philippines thought that Rise was going mid lane, so they picked a Twisted Fate. But then Victor was picked for the mid lane while Rise went top lane, so that kind of eliminates a bit of the mind gaming going on during Champ Select.
Yeah, this is what usually happens in these kinds of international tournaments where you don't usually get the opportunity to play with the enemy teams.
Yeah.
You actually don't know like what champions they can bring to the rift. So like we saw a lot of Varus AD carry as well. It was
Yes.
super off meta.
It
You
was
don't
very
see it.
weird.
You don't see it quite often. You also see an Alistair top.
Yes, that Alistar top by Indonesia built Triforce, Proto Belt, Static Shift, and Infinity Edge.
Exactly. So there's an element of surprise in these kinds of tournaments, and Thailand and Philippines, just by the way they're picking and banning, they're trying to get rid of these somewhat surprises by getting rid of the flex picks.
Yeah. Speaking of the picks right now, there has been Jin, Poppy, and Victor locked in so far for Thailand. A pretty solid team, I think. And while Team Philippines, they have Zyra and Elise support in jungle. Tamsu is more aggressive, as we've known him. So it's Elise kind of doesn't fit his style that well because Elise is more of a controlling jungler.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
But he usually uses Zac, Rek'Sai, Graves, those kinds of really aggressive junglers just get in the mix. Well, we'll have to see how that turns out in this game.
But we actually don't know what the support and the jungler for Thailand will be. They're actually trying to see what the Philippines will pick first. So they're actually going with the prioritization for the Jin pick because of how strong Jin is right now in
Yeah, that's true.
6.21. But one of the problems that Jin constantly faces is the early game, which is why the Philippines instantly replied with the Zyra. Without
Yeah.
hesitation, they just locked it in, and then they picked Elise as well. Elise is a super strong jungler, especially because Nidalee and Olaf are out of the pool. Zach's out, so Tamsu could have opted for his favorite Graves pick
Or
or Rek'Sai, but he opts for a pick that we rarely see him play, so he goes for the Elise, and they lock in the Orianna and the Echo.
Yes, that's a mid lane and top lane, I believe. Actually, Team Philippines had trouble with the Jin Zyra lane of Team Thailand yesterday, and that's why they insta-pick that Zyra, right?
So they want to also suffocate the Jin from its really hard early.
Yeah.
Because Jin usually spikes in the mid game and late game
Once
with the
he gets
ability
his items, right?
with his items and the ability to start skirmishes with his long range
Oh, yeah.
snare that can actually start a fight. Maybe
Deadly
get a pick
Flourish.
and then force a fight 5v4.
Yes, and Deadly Flourish, we saw it being used a lot yesterday to catch out people, and then sometimes it was instantly followed by the curtain call that just like decimated the teams. And this is interesting because it looks like Thailand is hovering on a Misfortune support, and they will lock it in with a Kazakh's jungle.
Wow.
Wow, actually, Misfortune support, we saw that yesterday, but it didn't have that much success.
As it did in Worlds, right?
Yeah, it was successful in Worlds because it was a counter to Zyra, but it didn't kind of work in yesterday's game. But I don't know, we might see it actually work in this game. However, I think they did run Ashe Misfortune.
Ashe Misfortune.
Ashe
Usually
Misfortune.
the pairing is Ashe Misfortune versus Jin Zyra.
Yeah.
But like right now the two matchups actually got kind of mixed up because you have a Jin with the Misfortune. Who knows, the Philippines might actually pick an Ashe just to humor,
Just to mess with it.
just to humor the shoutcasters.
Oh.
We see the hover by the
Predicted.
Philippines onto the Ashe. So
Predicted. There we go.
there we go. The Philippines locks in the Ashe just to humor the casters right now.
There
and
we go. Thank
to
you.
kind of switch the bot lane matchup up a little bit.
Yeah, just to switch it up a bit. What really intrigues me is this Kazakh's pick.
Ah, yes.
Because Kazakh's is not a jungler we've seen competitively in a while. I believe since the big nerfs back in season 5, I believe.
Ah, yes.
And actually he's strong right now at the current patch 6.22. However, these guys are playing in patch 6.21. But I think Kazakh was still pretty strong. It's just that he wasn't the strongest jungler. It is kind of weird because Rek'Sai's still up.
Yes.
Graves is still up, but I don't know. Kazakh's, it's pretty weird. Might have been. We'll have to see. We'll just have to see. But then again, this is Team Thailand. They are a pretty powerful team, and we'll see the video right now.
อันนี้เหมือนจะมีไฟลัดไปแล้วล็อกใส่ G4 ครับแล้วก็ล็อกครับจังหวะนี้ฮันเย่เข้ามาครับพุ่งใส่ G4 ยังคงล่อไปได้อยู่แล้วดูครับผมแกได้ดูวีครับเก็บลูกไฟของเราไม่ได้เรียบร้อยแล้วโดนตัวแทงก็จริงแต่ว่าโดนลุมท้าแบบนี้ก็ไม่น่ารอดครับวินาโตกับต้นยาวครับมีจังหวะแล้วก็เรียบร้อยและคูโมโต้ครับมาพลาดหรือเปล่าเขาเอารถกลางกำแพงมาครับ8โลครับมีทางครับตอนนี้ครับโดนเนี่ยไอ้ซ้อไปครับคูโมโต้ครับลอยไปเก็บได้เอวี่จากด้านหลังครับแล้วหลอกครับเป็นคิงไปหมดแล้วครับไม่ได้ยิงน็อกเอาแล้วโดน1โดน2ครับการแล้วไม่ยังเข้าไปครับเป็นที่มันคิวจากน้อยครับผมเอาครับแรกกับโรเวลตัวน้อยครับตอนนี้น้อยเลือกถี่กว่ามากครับแต่โรเวลก็พยายามจะสู้ครับแต่ว่าโรเวลมีตีว่าโอ้โหไม่แต่น้อยไม่ตายครับคิวน้อยครับโดนผ่านกันไปแต่ว่ามันปาดเป็นฝั่งของเนี่ยตายขึ้นมาโตได้ครับแล้วเก็บไปได้1ตัวเป็นคิวไหมครับสำหรับฝั่งของน้อยครับแกโดนด้านโดนเจ็ดแยกพอหลอกครับทำงานอีกครั้งนึงครับที่ป่าครับรับไปจังหวะนี้ครับสวยงามครับสำหรับฝั่งของจูเมนเซนไปแต่ว่าเอวี่ครับเลือดยังเต็มอยู่ครับแล้วตามเข้าไปยิงครับตามเขาได้คิวจากจังหวะของดุ๊กครับตอนนี้ครับอีกนิดเดียวลงมาจุดปีเกินกำเนิดและไอ้โอ้เจอแล้วแพนเดอร์คิวแพนเดอร์คิวแล้วล่างนี่ล็อกโดนเอวี่ครับตอนนี้มีการการตีจากคนที่ฟิตแต่วอลล็อกครับเข้ามาบังไว้ก่อนครับแล้วตอนนี้ต้องยืนแนวดีๆครับนักตีครับแต่ตีสวนครับตอนนี้ล็อกโดนอย่างเต็มๆครับแต่ว่าทางฝั่งของวอลล็อกครับดับเบิลคิวได้เป็นดับเบิลคิวไงล่ะเข้าเหรอครับไปครับโดนออกครับเทเลพอร์ตลงมาทางด้านล็อกครับจากทางลองเวครับมาแล้วครับเทอร์ทีเวอร์กดตีมาโอ้ยยืนอยู่กลางวงแบบนี้แล้วล็อกไปแล้วมาครับคนนี้ฟิตยิงฟรีครับยิงด้านหลังแต่ยิงยังไม่โดนใครแล้วโดนลองวิน1คนนะยังไงต่อครับเด็กของกำลังจะตายโดนบูมมาแล้วเบรกสุดปลายพอดีด้านบนครับนะลองวินไล่ตีใส่น้อยครับน้อยบอดี้จะแล้วพยายามจะหนีแต่ติดครับโดนลองวินไปโคเดนฟิตโดนกัดไป1ทีครับรอจังหวะต่อครับแคนเซิลทีเป็นหลังยิงแรกตายแทนครับเกมเป็นเพื่อนเหลือน้อยนั่นเองก็เพิ่งเห็นในสกอร์คิวว่าเขาจีโฟแดนติดด้วยนะครับเข้ามาชนและสวยงามต้องยิงอีกทีตลกบ้าเกินไงนะครับ
Thailand Thailand, and we are live on Summoner's Rift. Ladies and gentlemen, we are watching the Thailand Pro League versus the Philippines Pro Gaming Series in Game 1 of Day 2 of the group stages for the Garena All-Star Championship. This is the first game, and it is a revenge game from yesterday. They were the last game, and now they are the first game.
Alright, so for the blues, for Team Thailand on blue side, we have Intresso on Poppy top, we have Noi on Kazakh's jungle, Duke on the Victor mid, we have Holden Feet on AD carry Jin, and we have Sek on the support Misfortune.
Meanwhile, for the Pro Gaming Series, we have JLC in the top lane as Echo, Tamsu as Elise in the jungle, Exosen as Oriana in the middle lane, Hate as Ashe in the AD carry position, and TG in the support role as Zyra. Alright, so what do you think of other teams? How is the early game going to go? Because we all know that Kha'Zix is a very gank-focused jungler, while Elise is more focused on controlling the map. And how do you think that's going to go?
I think that top lane is actually going to depend on whether JLC can press his early advantage versus the Poppy. Because an Echo does pretty well against the Poppy in the first few levels before the Poppy actually gets defensive items. That will prevent JLC from getting any kills on the Poppy. So it's kind of skewed towards the top lane. The Victor also good pre-6 versus the Exo's Oriana. While the bot lane is pretty even because they both have poke support. So it kinda, I think the matchup that we should actually focus on is top lane because it can go either way really fast.
Yeah, it's pretty much a skill matchup, I think. Actually, there was a little move that Exosen did earlier. He stole the small raptor of his own jungler, setting him back a bit. It was a bit weird, but I think it was justified because Duke did do that strategy yesterday to the opposing jungler, and that was a bit inconvenient. So I guess it's a bit better that Exosen denies him that.
Well, the reason why EXO actually took that small raptor from Tamsu was because he wanted to reach level 2 first, just so that Duke couldn't push him out of lane. So as you can see now, usually when you play Victor 1v1, you want to assert your dominance in the first from level 1 to 3 as Victor, but you can't do that if your enemy is actually ahead of you in EXP. So very smart move from EXO, setting his jungler back a little bit, but it actually puts him way ahead in terms of the lane. As you can see, EXO's actually shoving the lane up really hard versus Victor, and Victor last hitting under turret isn't actually the best.
Yeah, that's true. We actually mentioned that yesterday, that little strategy, but you would usually do that to the enemy jungler. But yeah, the little denial of Duke being able to do that was a pretty nice touch on EXO's side. We do see here on the minimap that Tamsu is going to be doing an early invade into Noi's jungle. It is known that Kha'Zix does have an isolate damage, but he was spotted out by a ward as he goes for his bang and flash, exhaust, and the grab. Those will not connect. Well, the flash and jump from Noi. Tamsu is going to bleeding pretty much, but that will be nothing. There will be no kills from that, but I think that the Philippines came out ahead in the summoner trade for that.
Actually, pretty interesting padding coming out from Tamsu. He started with his drugs, if I'm not mistaken, into red, into blue, and then into the gank, into bot lane.
Yeah.
So now he gets the Grump, and you can see that the 2 buffs were already taken by Tamsu, while Noi is just about to get his red buff. So Noi is actually going to be able to exert more pressure onto the map than Tamsu because Tamsu's double buffs are going to expire pretty soon.
Yeah, but also take note that Tamsu actually warded the red buff of Noi so that he'll know when it's up, and if he wants to contest that, he will be able to do so. But the interesting thing, I think, is that Noi picked Kha'Zix while a lot of meta junglers were still up. There's still Rek'Sai and Graves, as I mentioned. There was Lee Sin if you wanted to, to make plays in the late game. But Kha'Zix is not really a jungler known for being a team player.
Yeah, exactly. Because usually when you play carry assassins in the jungle, they usually want to power farm sometimes and focus on taking the kills during their ganks.
Exactly. And that leaves Team Thailand with one less tank for their team fights, because it'll be all up to Intresso to tank up all the damage from Team Philippines here.
What's also interesting is that Thailand actually has a AD heavy composition
Oh yeah,
with the Misfortune support as well and the Kazakhs jungle. So
that's true.
it would be wise for JLC to actually itemize more defensively towards armor instead of magic resist, while you have a more balanced, where you have a more magic centric composition coming out from the Philippine
Yeah,
side.
this is interesting. This move from Thailand. I guess this is why they pick Kazakhs, because the isolate damage from his Q is actually very effective on epic monsters. Sek using his lane partner there to defend for himself for a while they get this very early Infernal Drake 5 minutes in. That's a very good pickup. I don't think the Philippine team had any clue to that happening.
So what happened there was actually Thailand saw that the bot lane of the Philippines was actually going to back. So what they did was Golden Feet stood there by the lane, froze the lane properly for around 1 minute, 1 minute 30 seconds, giving Sek the ample amount of time to go to the dragon, pink ward it, and then to coordinate the dragon call together with the jungler to take it down. And you can see he also passed by the mid lane, but then went back to the bot lane.
Yeah, that was very interesting. But here in the top lane, JLC getting very low. Keeper's verdict gonna knock him up in the air. He will get stun off onto Intreso. He does have ultimate up. He has the mana for it. He will use it to get out of there. Intreso actually does a lot of damage. We have here Tamsu coming in, maybe for the gank. No, that will they will cancel out on the aggression in top lane, I think.
That's actually interesting itemization coming out from the Poppy. He actually
Cull.
picked up a Cull.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Especially considering that Cull is usually an item reserved for AD carries.
We have seen sometimes when when top laners actually pick up Cull when they feel like it's going to be a matchup where they won't be able to solo kill each other or pressure each other as much. So it's actually kind of smart. If he can pop the Cull sometime in the next few minutes, it would actually be more gold efficient. Hopefully, if JLC won't be able to kill him, to punish him for not having that Spectre's Cowl.
Yeah. Also, it's because I think Trezzo is he has a pretty big lead on CS up on JLC right now, so that's a pretty good pickup, as you said.
So he actually should go for the Spectre's Call as the first item and actually itemize heavily, because as I was saying earlier, more physical damage on Thailand side while more magical damage coming out from the Philippines side. So
Yeah.
if the Poppy itemizes with a lot of magic resist, he will be almost unkillable by the Philippine team because of the amount of magic resist that they'll have.
Yes, it'll be up to Hate to pierce him with all those arrows. But Hate is going to be taken very low. T-Land Flash both used here. Golden Feet did not blow any summoners in that trade. But Sek is also low. Ignite and Ignited Flash used. I think that Thailand came up on top of that because Moy is now stealing the blue buff away from. Well spotted out. Duke gonna be able to take that. Yeah. Exo said without him. Oh, actually no. He gives it to Moy for the evolution. At level 6, he's gonna be able to evolve those claws and get bigger damaging isolated Qs up.
Thailand is doing so much work right now in the early game with the knowledge of back timings for the Philippine team. They were able to not only get the first dragon, they were also able to deny EXO his blue. So Thailand just working with this information, slowly feeding it to Noi, and Noi being able to make the plays necessary, taking the things that he can take away from Tamsu and from the Philippine team respectively.
Yeah, Tamsu is the one getting control in this matchup. Noi, this is I think his workings of his mind. Oh wow! That was a very quick combo from Golden Feet for the first blood. Tamsu gonna respond with a kill onto Noi, but wow, that was so quick. That was an auto attack, Q, bouncing grenade, and then the last auto attack.
Yes, so
that was a bunch of damage.
that was scary. Hate not respecting the amount of damage that the Jin can dish out at this early, especially with the serrated dirt. The Jin abilities and his force bullet becomes really scary.
Yeah, don't forget that Hate did not have heal there.
Because it was
So-
burned in the earlier skirmish.
Exactly, but the enchanted crystal arrow gonna make its way down the lane, gonna hit Golden Feet, and he will go down to Tamsu. Wow, I saw that enchanted crystal arrow coming in all the way down from the minimap. That was a very interesting, kind of revenge kill there. That was pretty cool.
That was from
Downtown.
from downtown, hitting straight into Golden Feet,
Yeah.
and then Tamsu picking up the kill.
Wow, incredible play from the Philippine team. They will be ahead in the kill score, but still a little bit behind in the gold score as of this moment. But the Philippine team, they have been in dire straits before. They have been behind in the early and mid game a lot, but if there's one thing they've been consistently doing, it's getting back in during the team fighting phase of the game.
Exactly. So that kill shouldn't have happened onto Hate if Hate would just respected the Jin. Because
Yeah.
Jin actually spikes earlier in terms of having a serrated Dirk and the Caulfield's Warhammer over his pickaxe and his Call. So very questionable play from Hate staying that far forward. Even though he was at his turret, he should have realized that Golden Feet had both summoners and his port bullet up as well.
I believe DG also wasn't there yet to assist Hate there. It was a little bit of a disrespect that cost him his life. These tiny mistakes are the things that the Philippine team keeps doing consistently, and it prevents them from being able to get the early game advantage most of the time in the games we've seen.
Exactly. So far we have a CS lead only for Tamsu and for
Oh, lead! Bullet time being dropped along with a curtain call. Those are two cones bullets. Wow, actually Hate gonna get that enchant crystal arrow onto Sek. He will go down to the Deathfire touch, I think, from Golden Feet. A revenge kill onto Sek from TG. Will not get sniped out by that deadly force, but Jail teleport here will get the stun off onto Golden Feet. The teleport coming in from Idressa. Will he be there on time to save Golden Feet? Looks like he will. Golden Feet will get the last hit onto JLC. The fourth floor taking his life. Idressa is just too tanky for Tamsa to deal with that magic resist he has. Wow, oh, Exosen off screen actually kills Noi Idressa with a flash, dash, and pound to the ground. Will take down Exosen.
Exo actually rotating first to the skirmish at bot lane, but was intercepted by Noi. Together with the isolated damage, was almost enough to kill Exo, but it was cleaned up by Intresso with the Poppy.
Yeah, I think the shockwave was the thing that resulted in Noi's death. But the fight is not over actually. Tamsu and Intresso still duking it out. Wow, that allowed the Thailand team to catch up. That was a 3-for-2 trade in favor of Thailand.
Thailand actually coming up with the 1,500 gold lead right now versus the Philippines. You can just see, like, from as I was saying, the amount of CS is pretty far in the top lane and also in the between the 80 carries. Exo and Duke actually doing an even job in terms of flash.
Oh, Sek with a flash for the almost deadly flourish by Golden Feet. That was a very good play if it actually worked, because they had it all planned out. If you saw, that flash was not just random, it was planned to get that damage on for the deadly flourish proc.
Yes, what happened a few minutes ago before the last time that Sek actually used his flash was to burn Hate's both of Hate's summoners. So he was trying to opt for the same trade again so that Golden Feet would have the summoner advantage and probably kill Hate again. But Hate with the nerves of steel just walks out of the deadly flourish, doesn't use his summoners, and therefore it's actually net loss for Thailand there because they ended up using Sek's flash for nothing.
Yeah, that is true. But then again, it kind of protects them for a bit in lane because Hate would have had to back there. And if I saw it correct, if I saw the cooldown correct, but let's hold that thought for a second. Noi is spotted out, will miss the shockwave. Wow, actually, he will still go down to JLC, but that was a bit of a misplay from EXO.
Tons of cooldowns used there.
Yeah.
Shockwave plus the ghost.
Oh, here's
for
bullet
EXO.
time onto EXO and Chaos Storm. We will go down here. He busted his ghost and was not able to get out of that. But Tamsu, maybe with the revenge here, but he did miss his cocoon. Will still get Duke. That's a 1-for-1. Actually, TG now joins the fray. Sek will go down for a double kill on Tamsu. 4-0 now on the Spider-Woman herself. Wow, these fights are just, they're just responding so quickly.
Non-stop action right now between Thailand and the Philippines.
This is kind of what we saw yesterday, but less unexpected, you know, because these fights are kind of happening for no reason, because there are less, they're not going for objectives after these little skirmishes. They're not going for towers or the dragon.
Yeah,
They're
which
just
is
kind
one
of killing.
problem that the Philippines always runs into. They
Yeah.
always get kills, but they can never transition them into objectives.
Yeah.
But that was an interesting skirmish because it actually ended up 3-for-1 in favor of the Philippines.
Yeah, that was
Because
pretty
they
good.
lost their mid laner, but the Philippines were able to take the lives of the jungler, mid laner, and the support.
Yeah, but in the true fashion of the Philippine team, they are, even though they are ahead in kills, they are still behind in gold.
So usually it's because the amount of objectives, the amount of even though we haven't seen it yet, the Philippines always lags behind in objective control.
Yeah.
They usually can't transition these kills into anything more than just ample gold for their team. But
yeah, we actually saw that in yesterday's games. It was a big criticism we had of the Philippine team because they'd have these 4-for-2 or 3-for-1 fights, and then they wouldn't go for the dragon or push tower. They just go back. That's a pretty weird thing to do, especially if you're in a competitive team.
exactly, I think that was the Singapore game, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
where even though they were ahead in kills, they were still lagging behind in gold because of the amount of objectives Singapore was able to get.
Yeah, that's true. But I kind of brought it out to the meta of the regions because hold up, in Chris Arrow will miss this gank is gonna be a fail. Bullet time and curtain call drop. There's a teleport from Entreso. JLC with a teleport in the opposite side. Oh, that's knife from Golden Feet going to take out TG there. Hate is so separated. Tamsu will also go down to Entreso. Meanwhile, Duke almost dying to Exo Sen, but Exo will get caught out. Chaos Storm and Gravity Field. He will go down to Sec. That will maybe be the first turret in the mid lane, but doesn't look like it right now. But that's definitely going to be a lot of damage onto this tower.
A lot of missed kill shots again.
Yes.
As we said earlier in Pick and Bans, Tamshu is not as comfortable on Elise as he is on his trademark champions.
Hate just gonna get run down. Sex running his stuff. He's gonna go. Heal gets popped, and the Q will take him down. As Hate dies, first tower goes down for Team Thailand, followed quickly by the second tower in the ball lane.
Look, I think they're looking pretty grim for the Philippines right now.
Yeah. It is pretty grim, but JLC might be able to get this top lane. Oh, it doesn't look like it. Entresa is here. He's gonna have to back up there. But this is what the Philippines doesn't do is when they get kills, they don't translate it into objectives as well as Thailand does.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is a big problem that they have, but they're very good in fights because the meta of the Philippine region's competitive scene is these big explosive team fights, and then you just kind of rush mid after everyone's dead. Yeah, and that's kind of what they're used to. But the other regions, they don't play like that. They get a few kills, transition it into an objective or two, and then back off. That's the difference in playstyle between these regions. It's a very big factor in the results of these games.
Exactly. It's like we were talking about how Thailand was actually abusing the back timers of the Philippines. You can see that the Philippines, what they abuse is the numbers advantage all the time to translate the kills. That's the difference in the meta between the two regions. So we have the first top turret taken down by JLC for the Philippines.
This is a huge goal lead at 18 minutes. That's a 5,000 goal lead in favor of Thailand. And they do have an Infernal Drake, which is helping their team fighting significantly.
And we have to note that the next dragon is already spawned. The Ocean Drake is there.
It's been spawned for a while now, I think.
Oh yeah, but it's kind of weird now because the Thailand team actually prioritized the first dragon, maybe because it was an Infernal Drake, but now they're just leaving it. They actually surrendered vision control of the right side river and are positioning towards the top lane, eyeing towards the last tier 1 turret of the Philippines.
It looks like all 5 members of each team are gonna go to this top lane for a fight. Critical has to drop Catfish and Arrow. JLC will be the first one to go down, and Dresso is gonna chase down Hate while the snipe Golden Feet with a double kill. Oh, Tamsu actually getting a kill onto Noi. And Dresso still chasing TG. Triple kill for Golden Feet. Rip Herald has been deployed, and TG will go down here to the shield throw from Entresa. That's an incredible fight. 4-for-1 in favor of Thailand, and that was a pretty bad fight for the Philippines.
Exactly. the Poppy is actually building towards Trinity Force as well, because as we said earlier, magic damage heavy team from the Philippines gives Poppy the freedom to actually not build Iceborne Gauntlet and go for the Trinity Force, leading to the Poppy dealing more damage than when she built an Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, definitely. And Golden Feet is huge, huge Jin right now. He's 7-1-3 with a 30 CS lead on Hate. That he's just the one that that the Philippines can't get to in these fights because he's way at the back. Sek engages with the bullet time for him, and then he follows up immediately with a curtain call, and then the Philippines just has to get out of the way, and they can't go to try to intercept Golden Feet's ultimate, so that they just get decimated by the bullets flying out.
Especially because JLC actually hasn't built any tank items yet.
Yeah, he rushed that Trinity Force and the Mercury Treads. He's now only gotten a cloth armor for now.
So if he tries to run into that, he would be absolutely destroyed by one of the bullets coming out from Golden Feet, maybe into the fourth
Exactly.
auto attack. So things are looking pretty grim.
Very grim right now. I think he should have rushed that Sunfire cape as tank Echo wants to do. But Thailand, with the amazing lead they have, all the pressure that they have, they're going to just get that Dragon for free. The isolate damage doing a bunch of damage onto that Dragon.
I feel like Noi feels like Kha'Zix is his comfort pick. That's why he actually chose it, even though it's an off-meta pick. He's actually doing pretty decently with it.
Relatively, I mean, because since it is a team game, he did do all of the kills to the carries, pretty much.
Yes, and also he's able to take away the objectives away from the Philippines.
Yeah,
team.
very easily.
So
And he's just able to zone them from defending this turret because of the threat of the jump in from the side.
exactly, like last team fight, the one we saw at top lane, he just stood there taking damage, but he was already being zoned. He was already zoning away the Philippines team from doing anything whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a very interesting strategy. Pick Kha'Zix and then just be a base tank for everybody. Oh, Deadly Flourish gonna catch out Tamsu. That's a bunch of damage going off onto the Elite. Wow.
So right now, as you can see, the Thailand team is getting
third
vision
call.
control.
Very call being dropped. Tamsu, total bumping, trying to get out. Oh, actually, he did get that basket. Oh, that is full of time. That's one kill so far in this team fight. Only getting jumped on. Ooh, actually, Hate with a quick double kill. Wow. That bullet time was actually pretty good at zoning, but then the Philippine team was just ready to go back in. But then again, Intresso was not in that fight at all. And here he is now trying to scare off anyone trying to back. Oh, here he is going to dive onto Exocet. Will get the shield pound, but Exocet will be escaping his life, burning both the heal and the flash. And good job by TG blocking that Keeper's coding. He'll use the tower for that, but at least Exocet did die.
JLC actually uses TP there, and he's actually going to get punished by Thailand.
That's a pretty big punish right there. He will not be able to save his life.
Very
He didn't
questionable
have-
TP coming
yeah,
out from him. All of his
extremely
teammates weren't there, but he just TP'd and tried to go for a flank nonetheless.
That was a bit of a miscommunication, I think, on the team's part. And Tamsu, they just don't realize that their jungle is currently controlled by Team Thailand.
But surprisingly, the Philippine team still has enough vision control on the right side jungle. You don't want to have vision control on your right side jungle at this very moment because there's no Drake. You'd actually want it to be on the left side. You want to be contesting the vision control, but when you're this behind, can you?
Boy, he actually did get the steal on the red buff. Hey, will he be able to fight this?
So
Wow.
what Thailand's doing now is they're getting vision control of the left side jungle towards Baron, and they're forcing Philippines to actually group up. They actually have a slow push setup at the bot lane. So the Philippines are right now they're on a timer where they have to get vision control of the left side river, and also someone has to catch the bot lane as well.
Yes. Wow. Actually, both teams are here in the top side of the map. Maybe looking for a fight in this Baron, or just the top lane of Team Philippines. This is, I think, questionable because JLC could be using his time to split push down bot. Although he doesn't have teleport though, so that's not a very viable strategy. But then I'm not sure Team Philippines can win this fight if Team Thailand decides to pull the trigger.
Exactly, because Thailand realized that they have the TP advantage, so they send their Poppy down to bot lane to start to re-establish the slow push.
Yes. Oh, Champion Crystal Arrow is barely on. There it is, the bullet time curtain call combo, and it will just zone the Philippine team away from all the damage that Golden Feet is doing. That's just a beautiful combo to watch. That bullet time, just to intercept anybody, so that nobody can get in and interrupt Golden Feet. That's something I haven't thought of, but it's actually super interesting. I love seeing it in this game right now. Very interesting
One thing I just
strategy.
realized with Thailand's composition is they actually have multiple zones where the grassy field with the poppies W. They also have the bullet time coming out from Sec. Also make it rain. So it's actually a lot of multiple layers of zones.
Yeah, they're
where
actually.
it just makes Golden Feet farther and harder to reach for the
It
team.
makes him super safe, and he's able to do that thing that Jin does. He's just able to snipe down the Philippine team, and that just wow, that's a very good team comp.
We actually saw a lot of good Jins yesterday.
Yeah.
Always landing the fourth bullet
Yes.
by an inch, even half an inch
Yeah.
towards to get the important target.
Yeah, actually, I think there was this one amazing Jin snipe we saw where it just barely didn't hit the hitbox of the Varus and instead went on the Victor that was being protected by like 2 champions. He threaded the needle right onto there, but Tamsu, he will have to burn his shoulder belt to get out of there.
Surprisingly, I think that was Hate's Jin.
Oh yes, I'm pretty sure it was Hate's Jin. They were the other team was sieging the mid lane, and Hate was just able to just snipe it down.
Yeah, and it also happened this game with Golden Feet threading the needle, hitting fourth bullet as well, giving Hate a taste of his own medicine.
Yes. There we go. It's just this snipe wars. We've been seeing a lot of Varus, a lot of Jin during this tournament. It's just these 80 carry snipers. That's it's a very fun thing to watch. Very entertaining.
Yeah, it's also very hard for Hate right now as an Ashe to be able to kill anyone in the front line, kill
Yeah.
anyone in the back line as well, just because
Exactly.
he doesn't have the gold funneled into him. Aside from that, the enemy composition with their massive amount of zones, it's just nearly impossible for Hate to go in without getting himself killed.
Yeah, especially since even though Ashe has the second largest range of all 80 carries, except for Caitlyn and Tristana at max level, he cannot do anything to Golden Feet or Juke right now because of all the zoning that's happening with Thailand.
Surprisingly, you'd also expect the same kind of gameplay coming out of the Philippine team because you actually have Echo's parallel convergence. You have the shockwave, the ball itself already creates a zone just with the command attack and command dissonance.
Yeah.
You also have the ultimate coming out from Zyra, but
Sadly, JLC is not very tanky right now. If you look at his items, he built Triforce and ZZ Rod. He does not have any health items, and that's going to be a very big thing when you're trying to tank up for the fights because you actually don't have the tank stats to go with the health to go with your tank stats. I mean,
exactly, it's super scary right now because Thailand has practically one item up on each of their lane counterparts.
exactly.
Poppy has 3 items, while
Boy caught out here, Challenge Crystal Arrow and Cocoon. He has to burn Flash and jump with that, but will he get out? That is the question. Flash and Rappel. Wow, actually, that was a trap. It's a trap. Don't go for that. Golden Feet getting that quick kill.
so now this actually opens up Baron for Thailand because
Definitely.
the Philippine team doesn't have any vision control past the river.
No vision, no jungler, very little possibility of a steal.
But we have a
Oh,
TP play
Shockwave.
coming out from JLC.
2-man Shockwave. Wow, he actually gets annoyed, but there Duke gets
Oh,
it.
Golden
Red
Feet.
PG. Wow, Golden Feet, yes, in the back, getting dove by JLC, interrupting that curtain call. Exo sent. Whoa, actually double kill by Duke somewhere else. And that's 4 members now for the Philippine team down. JLC is the only one alive. That was a pretty bad fight for the Philippine team, even though it looked like it started out well. But now it will be practically an ace because Tamsu just came up right there for 1. That was a 5-for-1 kill play. Very, very bad for the Philippines. Philippines. I don't think they should have taken that fight.
That was the closest the Philippine team ever got to Golden Feet this entire game.
Exactly. He just wasn't able to get the third and fourth bullets of his curtain call because JLC just dove in the back. But then that allowed Duke to just run down the carries of the Philippine team.
Yeah, he took down TG and Hate together in their jungle. While what could have happened was if the Oriana was together with JLC diving Golden Feet, it would have been a different story altogether.
Yeah, sadly, Exocet I think was late to that. He was walking towards the tri-bush when JLC was already in the mix.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sadly, a little bit of miscommunication coming in here for the Philippine team. And actually, Thailand playing that very well, despite losing Noi very early on in the fight. That was just still the incredible.
Oh, that thought.
Yes, Exocet gonna get away with using the flash, having to use a flash and shockwave for that. And Noi just spooking him there. But back to that, this incredible composition that they've made, just feeding Golden Feet those kills. 10 and 1 now, Legendary on the Jin, and might get another one. Curtain call dropped again. Gonna get those slows. Bullet time, gonna assist here, but will not get a kill with that ultimate. But it will drop the Philippine team low enough so that they safely start disparity.
So it's actually super surprising that the Philippine team walked into that trying to be established mission control not as a unit but as actually just JLC walking alone in this jungle.
Yeah, oh, Tatsu trying to go for the steal, will not get it, will instead lose his life and the life of PG, but JLC will get second for that, but Hit eating the fourth bullet. The crit did over 1,000 damage, taking him down. Double kill for Golden Feet. He's gotta be pretty warm right now. JLC almost getting tagged by that deadly flourish. That was a 1 for 3. The Philippine team just taking these very bad fights.
TG actually flashed into the Baron pit using his ultimate and instantly got popped by the enemy team.
Oh man, that was very sad. Oh, JLC gonna take it out with Duke right here. Will go down. Do stun to take his chrono break. Oh, it's also on cooldown. That's a lot of damage coming out from the Victor. He is basically half an item up on Exocet.
Looks, I can now see why Thailand prioritized the Jin first pick. They actually plan. I have a feeling they actually planned this composition to revolve around the Jin pick, and then they just mounted. They just picked towards around the Jin, getting more zones. To just keep this Jin super safe.
It looks like it because the team fighting from Thailand, this is a very unique strategy that I've only seen now, and it's incredibly effective versus the Philippine team. This is amazing, honestly. Good foresight and planning on the side of Team Thailand.
Well, usually in these kinds of situations, you have to build these compositions around some of the key players. So for Thailand, their best players are these are the best players from Thailand according to the All-Star votes.
That's true.
And they have these playmakers like Sek and they have Intreso as the playmakers. But Golden Feet, you're very consistent AD carry. Doesn't miss position, doesn't mess up. So as you can see, they just funneled all the gold into him, and now they're reaping the benefits of their investment onto Golden Feet.
Yes, and that shows their investment. It is paying off in spades right now because the Philippine team is just basically holed up in their base. They can't go anywhere, do anything because Team Thailand is way too strong for them to be contesting anything. This is very sad. Looking like they lost for the Philippine team.
This is the fourth dragon already coming out for Thailand. They also get the kill onto TG.
That was a solo kill. Support. That was a support solo kill. Sack taking out TG there with the bullet time.
Most probably TG tried to establish vision control, face checks the brush, and then encounters Sek, and Sek just mows him down with the bullet time.
Yeah, that was a pretty big misplay right there. They won't, with the Baron and all the dragons that Team Thailand has, they're still playing it very cautiously, very by the book, so that they won't misplay like Team Philippines did yesterday in their last match.
Yeah, as you can see, they're pressuring all three sides, constantly keeping Philippines on their feet. rotating from bot lane. Now they rotated to mid top, but then you have Noi getting a slow push also on bot lane, so they have to rotate.
Oh wow! That 4 shot from the curtain call just took out Exosen from 75% health.
Wow.
That's a big Jin in the last shot. Almost one-shotting TG. Ingressa gonna take down Tamsu 3-0 just because of the curtain call. How big Golden Feet is. 14, 1, and 5. He's half of the team's kills. Oh my god. Interestingly, Golden Feet has more kills than the entire Philippine team combined.
Oh yeah, that's
Kate
absolutely
just
true.
took down Noi, but will go down. Ingressa not giving any, he's not caring at all. He just dives into the fountain, knows that he's tanky enough to take it, and dude just picks up a kill. Wow, that is huge disrespect from Team Thailand, but they can afford it.
Looks like JLC won't be able to get anything out of that either. Land Deadly First lands onto him and he just gets destroyed.
Shockwave, maybe, yeah, it will, but it's too little too late, I think. Oh, actually, Golden gonna go down. Shut down by Exoset, triple kill. Wow, and Ingressa might be going down here as well, maybe. If GA has been popped, that's 4 members of Team Thailand down, aced in the Team Philippines base. Exosen, Exhaust has been dropped. Wow, that's a shutdown. Unofficial quadra kill by Exosen. And this is what happened yesterday during their game.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Could this be
History repeats itself, ladies and gentlemen.
could this be the same story we saw last night?
Maybe, but it is only 36 minutes into the game. The death timers are not that long yet. Team Thailand is going to be up early enough so that they can defend any pushes that Team Philippines tries to make, but it will be a very difficult thing for Team Philippines to actually push anything right now.
Especially when all of the odds are stacked against them, with Thailand having 4 dragons, having getting the first Baron of the game, also having 18k gold lead as well.
Wow.
18k gold lead for Thailand. So it looks like a very This looks like a very bad spot for Team Philippines.
Yes, that's an 18,000 gold lead. If you divide it at 5, that's at least 3,000 gold for each member. That's a whole big item up for 2
So
spots
now we have a
here.
replay of what actually happened. Exosen landing hit the shockwave onto Duke, and then the Zyra landing her onto Duke, finishing him out, and then the flash command attack into Dissonance gets Golden Feet and Sek as well. And they now clean up onto Intresso. Intresso putting up a valiant effort, almost getting Exosen down in this fight. But
yeah, but it was too little too late. I think that if Team Philippines was able to pick up the Karma, those shields would have been an incredible factor in all the fights they were doing. But sadly, it was banned out by the Oh! Enchantment Pistol Arrow gonna get
we have the plan beat.
nothing up to that. Instead, Team Philippines has to turn that mod, shut down on Exosen, jumping all around the map. That's a double kill from Noi, and that's 4 down. Team Philippines JLC once again the last man standing and will get taken down. Double kill by Duke, and that will be the game for Team Thailand. They will pick up this revenge game with another win. Congratulations, Team Thailand. And wow, that was just a breathtaking game to witness. What an amazing strategy that Team Thailand cooked up there.
Exactly, you couldn't decipher the strategy that they had in mind in the pick and ban phase. It wasn't actually clear until you could see them execute it to a great level.
Yes, and since they had the Jin, it was beautifully executed. Just like how Jin just executed all of the members of Team Philippines.
Exactly.
And did you see all those the huge damage coming in from those curtain call shots? Wow, just 75% health Exosen. Last shot, bam! He was actually defending hate there,
And
then-
he got popped instantly.
exactly.
In the last fight, JLC actually jumped in front of Golden Feet to tank the bullets for the entire Philippine team and got destroyed with a 1,000 damage crit. And wow, can't even face tank the bullets.
Can't even face tank the bullets as a tank. But to be fair, the itemizations of Team Philippines were a bit off to combat Team Thailand. But then again, you know, you live and you learn. in League of Legends. Just congratulations to Team Thailand. That was a beautifully executed game. Wow.
Wow.
But that's just game one of today's group stages.
Exactly.
Well, there you have it, folks. Game one. Stay tuned because we will be live for game two very soon on gaming.youtube.com/user/phgarena/live. Share the stream link with your friends. Once again, I've been G10 coming at you, and this is my partner, Iconic. Yeah, and we'll be seeing you later today. With the revenge here, but he did miss his Cocoon. Will still get Duke. That's a 1-for-1. Actually, TG now joins the fray. Zach will go down towards double dress on JLC with a teleport in the opposite side. Oh, that's knife from Golden Feet. Going to take out TG there. Haley so separated. Tamsu will also go down to Indresso. Meanwhile, Duke almost dying to Exo Sen, but Exo will get caught out. Chaos Storm and Gravity Field. Will go down. Critical has got Casting Arrow. JLC will be the first one to go down, and Dresso is going to chase down Cage while the snipe holding his double kill. Oh, Tamsu actually getting a kill onto Noi. Dresso still chasing TG. Triple kill for Golden Feet. Rip Herald has been destroyed, and TG will go down here to the shield throw from Indresso. That's called to drop. Tamsu total bumping, trying to get out. Oh, actually, Cage has not passed it. Oh, that is a bullet time. That's one kill so far in the team fight. Going to jump on. Ooh, actually hate with a quick double kill. Wow. That bullet time was actually pretty good. No jungler, very little possibility of a steal.
We have a DP play coming out from JLC.
Two-man Shockwave. Wow, he actually gets annoyed, but there Duke gets
Golden Feet.
Wow, Golden Feet, yes, in the back, getting dove by JLC, interrupting a turn call. Exo Sen. Well, actually, double kill by Duke somewhere else. And that's four members now for the Philippines team down. JLC is the only one alive. That was a pretty bad fight for the Philippines team, even though it looked like it started out well. But now it will be practically an his life and the life of PG. But JLC will get second for that. But hit, eating the fourth bullet. The crit did over 1,000 damage. Taking down double kill for Golden Feet. He's gotta be pretty warm right now. JLC almost getting tagged by that Deadly Flourish. That was a 1-for-3. The Philippine team just taking these very bad fights.
PG actually flashed into the Baron pit using his ultimate and instantly got popped by
He's gonna go down. Shut down by Exocet. Triple kill. Wow, and Jessa might be going down here as well. Maybe if GA has been popped. That's 4 members of Team Thailand down. Ace into Team Philippines base. Exocet must have been dropped onto that instead. That's the turn upon. Shut down on Exocet. Jumping all around the map. That's a double kill from Noi, and that's 4 down. Team Philippines JLC once again the last man standing. He will get taken down. Double kill by Duke, and that will be the game for Team Thailand. They will pick up this revenge game with another win. Congratulations.